What's going on, people? It's Mr. Back here with another review show. And yes, another win. Another win for Nottingham Forest against Preston. And if you see it, it's an easy win against a team that we always lose at the City Ground against Preston. But today, it was something special. But like I said, it's a review show. If you are new to our channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. And like I said, comment below if you went to the game today. I might have saw you. If you saw me, blah blah blah. But like before we do start, I introduce to everyone. First, we'll start with Raz.
I'm good, mate.
Yeah, Raz, as everyone knows, Raz is a YouTuber as well. So people comment, are you subscribed to Raz? And if you're not, subscribe to his channel. We've got Dylan down here, as usual guest. How you doing, Dylan?
I'm all right, mate. Happy. Call back.
Oh, for freak's sake! I thought people, if Dylan knows you're at callback, we'll block him. Last but not least, we've got another newbie, and he messaged me like a month ago to come on, and he's here. How you doing, Tim?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thanks, thanks everyone for letting me come.
No worries. Oh, right. Are you gone? Can you, Tim?
Yeah, I can hear.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Right, so people, like I said, comment below, people, if talk about today's game. But we'll start with, we'll start with the newbie, Tim. Like, 3-0 win. Like, how you feeling about today's result?
Yeah, it was really good performance. I thought interesting to see that. Obviously, the formation changed. Figs wasn't in the team, which I know he's come in for quite a bit of criticism of late. Some justified, some not so much. But we could possibly discuss that in a bit. Yeah, I thought that the team had a decent balance to it, considering the formation had been changed, and that traditionally Forest, when they change formations, are not always, take a while to get into it. But I felt we held our own well, and we just needed that first goal, and we got the early goal, and we got the goal, and we started to kind of, and we look like a bit. We're set up kind of counter-attacking wise because the pace we've got in the team with the likes of, especially with Myton starting and Johnson as well and Zinkernagel. It's almost inevitable that teams will be wary of pressing too high against us with that ability to do that. And I think that's where our real strengths lie. And I think because we had the solidity at the back today and we looked a bit more kind of, I mean, I know Brian Laws on the commentary, I was listening to it. He had a few doubts, he was a bit concerned about some of the kind of the spaces that were being left, and maybe against better teams, we could have been exploited. But overall, I'd say it's a good solid 7 out of 10. And yeah, really happy to see the momentum continuing and going into the international break.
Rad, like as Tim just said, the formation was changed. Was you surprised with Figueiredo on the bench and another attacking midfielder like Myton coming in?
Yeah, I was, to be fair, and I wasn't really that frustrated by it because as Cooper said, I saw in his interview, he just said it wasn't because Figueiredo wasn't playing well, because I think he has definitely justified why he's been put back in the team since Cooper's been obviously at Forest. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but I mean it clearly worked because we won 3-0. Whether we do stick with 4 at the back from now on or not is another question. But I think Myton did pretty all right, to be fair, and we did go a bit more attacking because at the end of the day we took out a defender. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but it works, so I'm happy with it.
I'm not going to talk about combat yet, but I'll start with Dylan. Like, we got another penalty, and I, from my angle, I don't know if it was a penalty or not, but was it a penalty this time?
It was a penalty, but if you watch it back, I'll give him 10 out of 10 for the dive, because as he clipped him, he's made sure he's gone down, but he's done like an arch to dive. So he's definitely clipped him. He's definitely gone down. Instead of falling straight down, it's weird. He's clipped him and then just arched over like he was diving into a swimming pool. But it was definitely a penalty.
Tim, I know. Let me finish off there. Like, Jack Colback, as everyone knows, that I've been really critical with Jack Colback, and yet again, he scored what a goal from Colback, and before we started the show, I said, "Oh, you're a Jack Colback fan, Tim. How have you been impressed with him since Cooper's come in?"
Yeah, I mean, we were speaking before, but I think I thought he did a good job when he was playing a lot under Karanka. He was just kind of like held it together nicely in a much more defensive role. I mean, we've seen him crazily getting forward, like even with the expansive kind of playing higher up the pitch style that Forest have started to utilise under Cooper. I didn't really expect that Colback was going to be one of the guys that was going forward and getting into those positions. And it just goes to show, really, I think the moral of it is like what confidence can do to any team and any players. Like we've all seen other seasons, right, where teams that are, bang average go on good runs, and you look at the team sheets and you're thinking they're doing it purely on camaraderie, morale, and a good relationship. And the fact that Forest have got some actually good players in combination with that morale, there's got to be a lot of optimism. And this is not just because we've won a few games. It's something a little bit different than I've seen for a good long time. Yeah, for sure.
Right, as I said before I started the show, like I said, Preston was our burger team, but was we good or were Preston just poor?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest, because Preston, honestly, I don't remember
after the win as well. After the win against Bournemouth.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was even more surprised, because I thought it would be. I still didn't really change my mindset too much, but you have to be aware of the fact that they just beat the team first in the league. But I don't really remember them having an out-and-out shot. I know, to be honest.
Did they have one
They
shot?
had one. They had one.
Oh,
they had one where Samba stuck his hand out.
Yeah. They had one shot.
But that they had very, very few clear-cut chances, and I wasn't very impressed with them at all. And like you say, was it a case of them being terrible or it's just being really good? I just think it's a bit of both. We took our chances, unlike of late against QPR and Sheffield United. Both those games, I think we could have definitely won them if we just literally took our chances a bit more. But yeah, I'd say a bit of both, to be honest.
Let's look at the questions. Raj, your dad's he's watching this as well.
Yeah.
Another guy says, "Hi Dylan, how you doing?"
Good.
Well, people give some people in the comments. Give some Tim some love. He's like he's here for the first time, so people give some love to Tim, please. Dylan,
yes.
I mentioned Martin coming on, and like I said, I thought he played really well. Do you think he should get another chance after the international duty?
Yeah, he played well. He held his own. He was fast going down the wings and that. But the thing is, at the minute, Johnson's just outshining anyone at this moment in time. Obviously, they're kind of near enough the same type of player on the opposite sides. But yeah, I think Martin should get another chance. But I think he likes to rotate them, don't he? At the minute with Lolle, Zinchenko, and like we was on about the formation earlier. I didn't like. As soon as they put the 4-2-3-1 out, I was like, no, because you think to Chris Hughton straight away.
Yeah.
And then for the first 20 minutes for me, I thought they look a bit like the old Forest. He was like, oh, where are they going to go with this? Got the penalty. They did the job. I still, me personally, don't think that formation is right for that team.
Why? People in the comments, do you disagree with Dylan, yes or no? Like, Tim, do you disagree with Dylan, yes or no?
I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit because I like politicians' answer, but I think what Cooper was quite quick to point out to Colin Fray in the post-match interview that this is just a strategic kind of like looking at the opposition and kind of making the adjustments, which, most teams that go on to do well have to have that flexibility within it. So obviously I would agree with Dylan in that I do think that the better formations that fits the players we've got is the one with the three centre defenders and two wing backs. But I think we were a bit fortunate today that we didn't get caught out by, as we were saying earlier, a bit of a weakish Preston team, which a bit after the Lord Mayor's show, like they had that really good result, and I think that must have taken a lot out of them. And so I just think it's encouraging to see that we are able to play different formations and Cooper, I feel that we're in safe hands with Cooper. I think that's the point. It's easy when managers are winning games to come out and say stuff, but he looks the part to me. He seems to be grounded. He doesn't want to go too much over the top with things, and always reiterate there's plenty to work on, classic stuff, but it's nice just to see someone with a bit of personality talking after the game. I mean, the Warburtons and the Hutons, they just lacked a little bit of panache, didn't they?
Tim, did you want Cooper as manager?
I'll be honest, no. Initially,
really?
I had my doubts. I know a few Swansea fans fell into the old trap of listening to other people's opinions on him. I felt that there was a lot of nasty little comments going around, sort of some kind of ridicule against Cooper for various reasons, and I'll be honest, I had a few doubts, but I'm honest enough to say I was wrong, and I'm fully committed to Cooper. Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, people. At least Tim's honest. I've been honest from the start.
I see. Yeah, I know you're honest, though. I know.
I'm always honest, but let's still Dylan, like Jack Colback, and again, like I don't know if you remember in the last podcast, I said I said if Colback scores,
you'll buy me a Forest shirt. Yeah, all right.
No, I did not.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
No, I did. I did not say right. People didn't talk nonsense. I did not say that. But Colback and Yates again. That partnership. It's just like it's just weird. It's strange, isn't it? Like on the Hooter, it was absolutely. Let's put it.
They've been given freedom. That's the problem. They've been given freedom and told to go that way, not that way. Do you know what I mean? And it's for me, and I think it was on the radio when I heard him say as well. They says that the way Colback's playing, he's turning into being like a Ben Watson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's dictating it. He's spraying the ball. He's everywhere at this moment in time. He's up at the top. That's where he got the goal. Do you know what I mean? That strike. I think Lau Taylor would have been pleased with that kind of strike. Left foot, straight down the middle, straight on it, bang. Do you know what I mean? But I know you'll say, but Yates, I think Yates and Colback are complementing each other.
Ryan Yates is better.
Better than what? Colback?
He's younger, though, isn't he?
On form, no. On form, it's Colback. I'll be honest. People in the comments, who do you think's better at this moment, Yates or Colback? That's your decision.
I'd say both. I'd say both of them.
Yeah, but I'm
complementing each other.
No, they are. But I'm trying to say it's good, but I'm saying on form wise, I think Ryan Yates. I love Ryan Yates, but Colback.
Ryan Yates does the dirty. Well, like everyone keeps saying, and he gets a lot of stick, which I don't agree with. He does the dirty work. He does the work that no other player wants to do, and does the work that no one sees really. He's the one picking that ball up, trying to get it moving. But now you've got Colback, who's kind of like dictating play as well. Do you know what I mean? And because he's got 2 goals in the last couple of games, people are noticing Colback a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Ryan Yates to me has been in the team forever. He's always been in the team. He's played under so many managers, so he's doing something right. Do you know what I mean? Where Colback's been in and out.
Yeah, Tim, are you a Ryan Yates fan? I'll speak to you right in a minute. Are you a Yates fan?
I've had issues with Yates in the past. I think many have. As I said,
I haven't. No, Tim.
You haven't. No, you've been solid.
Don't put me in your box.
Okay, no, I'm not putting in your. No, you're definitely not in my box. But what I'll say is with Yates is again, it's the same. It's the same answer. It's the fact that the difference is Colback's got a 4, 5, 6 years age difference on Yates, and obviously has the experience that he's got, and he can make the game simpler. Yates has still got that. I mean, his energy levels and his fitness are ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if anybody had an opportunity to watch the Robin Chipperfield interview with Walt, but there's a little snippet in there. I won't spoil it for people because that would just be pointless. But watch that and see what Worrell has to say about Osborne. He makes a comparison. Not Osborne, sorry, Yates. He makes a comparison between Yates and another. And I just don't want to spoil it.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So
I told you people. Yeah. If you need to watch it, right? Yates is just class, but you hate
Yates Aldo.
And that's the problem when Ryan Yates' form goes below. You see the people hammering him as usual, but it is what it is. Right, I'm asking the same question to you. Like, I don't know if I've asked you. Like, Colback, was you a Colback fan before he turned into a superstar?
No, I wasn't. To be honest, I mean, well, I knew that he was a good player because of what he was when he was first at Forest, but based off when he came back to us, he wasn't that effective. But then again, the whole team wasn't that effective under Chris Hughton. Let's be real. But he's completely and utterly revitalized his entire career at the moment, and you'd never ever think that he would have been, completely in the what's the phrase? He just in the bomb squad essentially is what it was called last season. And he was just, I think what hindered Cole back really is the fact that he came back a year after his loan, not as soon as his loan finished, because he had like a whole year at Newcastle where he just didn't play any football at all.
All he was doing was travelling up and down. He was living in Nottingham at the time.
Yeah, I really don't think that helped him out at all. Because he was living where he was on loan, and he almost certainly wanted to sign for us, and he had to wait a whole year to do that. And then when he did, loads of things happened, and I just think it did hinder him and hit him quite hard. But fair play to him; he's really got himself back on track.
Dylan, like we mentioned Yates and Colback again, but how the hell, Ojoda and Garner are going to replace these two? But like I said, they're on fantastic form, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Garner, I liked him last season. I don't think this season. Personally, I think I've got a sneaky feeling that Forest in January and Man United are probably going to recall him back, because I think a lot of
I wouldn't.
No, but I think a lot of reason of why he came back to Forest. You remember before he came back, he had all the speculations to go over Championship clubs. I think the whole point of him coming back to Forest was one, playing under Chris Hughton, but he's gone now, and he was going to play, but he's not playing. And every time he comes on, I'm not being funny, but since he's been back, he's not had a game where someone's turned around and gone, do you know what? Garner played really well today. It's like today. He was on, but I didn't notice him. Do you know what I mean? Jada, like Cooper keeps saying in his interviews, he's a long-term project. He's here for the long haul, so therefore they're not going to rush him. Obviously, you've got the language barrier, you've got the culture from coming from Paraguay to here. So obviously they're trying to bed him in. I reckon he will come on eventually as a sub. He nearly did the other night, they said.
Yeah.
But with them two I think personally, I think he's going to go back in January. I'd be very surprised if he stays for another 6 months. And then Ajada will just be, because he's here for what, 4 years?
Yeah.
So he's a long-term project, like Cooper keeps saying. So they need to just work on him, nurture him. If you don't get on this season, it'll be next season.
People, if you've got any questions to ask to Tim, Dylan, or Raz, please put in the comment section. We'll try and add as well. People, if you want to, like I said, if you're new to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button, like as well. Tim, I think I've asked Dylan and Raz this already, but we know as Lewis Grabban, and I'm both loud there wasn't hitting goals for under Houghton, but now they're scoring for fun under Cooper. But what was your opinion on Grabban under Houghton?
Same answer for lots of the other players, like Grabban and Taylor and whoever you could put up front were very, very isolated. They would run around. You could see them making moves, but the ball just wasn't coming through to them. So that we're just playing slightly higher up the pitch now, so that they're able to get involved in the game and confidence is higher. It's just, and of course, if you're starved of service for any length of time, the panic that's going to come to an individual player like a Grabban or a Taylor, even experienced players, when you know you're only going to get one chance max per game, like they were pretty much under Houghton, the odds of them scoring are minimal because of just the pressure thinking, got to take it. Whereas now Grabban knows that the balls are in the box. We still need to improve a little bit on the end product. I think the final ball is still a little bit kind of hit and miss, but these are great chance for Myton, players like that, and Johnson too. I mean, I was impressed. First game of the season, Forest. I can't remember now if it was first or second, but it was against Coventry, and
First.
It was the first. Yeah, it was that little. It's Johnson, because people have been. I've heard a few criticism of Johnson's end product, saying that he needs to improve, but he's young. Yeah, when you see the speed that he's traveling at, he seems to have this little look up that he does, and he puts the ball into the box. It's not just like head down getting the ball in, and that you don't really teach that. Like we've all watched football a long time, and I've seen even players in the Prem They get to the byline and they just put the ball in. There's a little glance that he gives, and I'm encouraged by that. I think there's an intelligence that he's got along with his physical abilities, which is going to make him a problem to keep, unfortunately.
Let me ask this for Rads. Would you grab a contract, Rads?
I think based off form, yes, but yeah, this is the thing with Grabban and Taylor. They're both aging, and this is why I think. But you didn't know that Grabban was going to suddenly start finding form again. But we were all saying in the summer transfer window, "Oh, sign a striker. Why haven't we done that?" And I do still somewhat stand by that, because if you're talking about long term, I don't think they're really the options, because, like we said, they're aging. But I think based off form, yes, I probably would do. But really? I do think not a long-term contract or anything, but maybe keep him for another year. But I do think we need someone else to help him out for sure. Whether that's going to be Taylor or not, I don't know. Because I don't mind Taylor, but I do think we can do better. To be polite, I think we do need to get someone else to help out Grabban for sure.
I don't know if people have seen it. Have you? As I've seen, when Laute come on, I think it was the Preston defender Stone really giving Taylor some shine.
Yeah, I've seen that.
As everyone's seen it, have you seen it, Tim?
Yeah. Watch the. It's quite amusing. He does a little crying thing on him, doesn't he?
I think Taylor loves. I think he did it against QPR away as well to the defender. But
yeah, he's a cheeky chat. He's a character in Taylor. Love him or hate him. He's one of them, really. But I like to see people with personalities, even if I don't like their personality sometimes. Have a bit of, have something about you. Make why not? Everyone's a bit kind of like monotone. Post-match interviews and all that stuff can be a bit kind of sort of cliche ridden, can't they? But Taylor's, he's good. He says, and that again, you might be thinking I'm getting some incentives from this, but Worrell's interview with Chipperfield was like,
you know what, Tim? That was the next one I was about to ask you. Like, carry on then before I continue with it. Right. Basically, right. Dylan, have you seen it, Dylan?
Yes, I have.
Right, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Right. I saw on Twitter there's fans moaning about Joe Worrell, about he shouldn't have done it. But me personally, I'm sick and tired of players talking like media trained. But people in the comments, was Joe Worrell right to say how he felt or not? Tim, let me ask you first. Do you think he was right to say everything that he said?
I mean, for a viewer, for a fan, absolutely right. I could possibly imagine. I mean, I think Worrell is a very smart guy. I think he wears his heart on his sleeve. But I think, he mentioned players and he gave him insights and things that, in theory, could upset people potentially. I mean, football's a very closed shop sort of scenario now, where even managers and stuff after the game, they have to wait 20 years before they can even write anything that's happened, don't they? It's one of those spots where you just do that. But I love to hear that. I just think that Worrell's relaxed about who he is. He's prepared. He's taken a gamble criticising the Rangers fans. He's getting criticism from them still, and if they get wind of watching that, they're not going to enjoy that one bit. But he didn't care. So fair play to Worrell. I think it's just really refreshing to see somebody that is literally heart on their sleeve, and we saw him after the Wolves game, didn't we? When Chipperfield mentioned that, he just comes out and he speaks from the heart, and he did in fact say that he was surprised how he managed to just kind of just fall short of the line. He nearly went into the. I think he's a breath of fresh air myself. But as a fan, we'd love that, don't we? We like to hear the gossip and all that stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Dylan?
Yeah. I think sometimes listening to him he is a bit too honest, which is good in one respect. But do you know what I mean? He was like, we knew that Premiership teams were looking around at him. If you've seen the end bit where he was saying that he'd spoke to one and blah blah and all this, and I was like, it's not even what few months since then. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and he's saying if they come back for me, I'll tell them to do one, and I'm not bothered, which is good. Do you know what I mean? And it's good that he's saying that he's got the ambition, he's doing stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But like Tim said, it's breath of fresh air to listen to someone just come out and just tell you how it is.
What you've had? Sorry.
So
Yeah, completely agree with both of you. To be fair, I've always liked Wall as a player and as a person, and as you've always said, he's very, very honest, and I think you do definitely need that because so many players just come out and say the same thing, even if they don't mean it. I remember Wall's done that quite a few times. He's just said what he wants to say within reason. Anyways, he probably can't go too far, but yeah, I mean, obviously he did say things like to do with the when he was at Rangers, he was kind of opening up for more people to criticize him the way he did that, but I don't think he really cares, given the fact that he said that. And like when he was talking about whether he was going to move clubs, of course you can't really blame him for saying, if I do get the right offer one day, I will go. And because every player at the end of the day, they want to play at the highest level. And I don't think people can really criticize him if he does leave us.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing I was about to ask everyone else. Like,
yeah,
he's a young lad. He wants to be in the Premiership. Who wouldn't? But I'm not asking you, Tim. Like, if I don't be down. I know we won 3-0 today, but I don't want to be down.
Yeah.
Like, Tim, would you, if Joe Worrell left,
Yeah.
would you be? How would you feel about it?
Yeah, gutted because I really like him as a player, as a person, and we all would like to think that Worrell could, potentially captain Forest in the Premier League. That's a dream. He's just got ambitions that he wants to be the best that he can and fulfill his potential. And you would encourage any player to do that. And let's be fair, right? How many, what would the situation be is if he's like doesn't mention anything about this and then he leaves? So plenty of players will say stuff, but he's just being honest and saying like, well, I have high ambitions. Let's be fair as well. He's seen Benny Osborne and Matty Cash, and I get the impression that he feels that he is at least as good as them, right? He's not an arrogant guy, but he's a very confident guy, and I think he feels as though he's been sold a little bit short. I think he feels a bit unlucky at times that he hasn't got the move. Whether he is, he's a very good player. I'm not so sure whether the Prem would bring out his best. I think he could do a job, but I don't know.
Do you think he'll shoot the Premier League then?
Do you think? I think he would. It depends on the kind of club he's at, but the pace, he's not the quickest. I wonder whether he might just get found out. I don't know. That's maybe being overly critical on him, but I'm really happy with it in Forest. I think his form is excellent, and you'd want him on your side in a battle in anything. He's one of them. He's staunch and he just holds his head up high. He doesn't go missing. He helps other players. He's got a voice, and he's a good guy. You can sense that. You don't need to. He doesn't lie. Just straight talking. That's what we want, really. I think from our footballers.
I'm gonna ask you today. Like, Figueredo got dropped today, and but was you disappointed that he got dropped, or like, was you happy? Like I said, Martin come in, and like I said, the formation change was a bit.
Yeah,
I thought it was a bit weird, but I think it's positive. Like attack him all at home, but would you play that formation away from home?
No, I'll carry on. I like the three at the back at the minute. It seems to be working. I can understand why Cooper's probably changed it because Preston against Bournemouth the other night, they were I don't know if anyone saw the highlights of that game. They were lucky to win that because of that last attempt that Bournemouth had, but they won it. And I think Preston played with a back five as well and stuff like that. So, and I think a lot of teams at the minute are coming to Forest, seeing under Cooper, they play with three at the back, wingers, this is the way. And today it was probably Preston had set up for that way. And Cooper's just gone, no, bang, we're going to drop it in this, we're going to drop it this way. That's probably why it kind of threw Preston off a bit, because they'd not practiced on, obviously, the way Forest they normally probably practiced on the way they were been playing, but not the way they did play. But like I say, when Figs, I like him.
I like him as well.
I like him. He's been there long enough. The thing is with Figs, the thing is, about him, he's always got one mistake in him.
Yeah.
He'll make one mistake, bad mistake, give a penalty away or something like that. Then he goes for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then makes another one and does it like that. But me personally, I like him, Worrell and McKenna at the back.
Right, people. Let's say we're 50 minutes in. Come on, Blue people, what player was your man of the match? I know at the ground it was Jack Colback. I don't need to ask Dylan who was his man of the match because I can read his bloody mind already. But people in the comments, who was your man of the match today and who impressed you? I'll start with you, Raj. What player impressed you today?
To be honest, I normally criticise what Forest pick as man of the match because, the other week it shouldn't have been Garner against Sheffield.
I thought it would be Garner today.
Imagine.
Yeah. But I actually thought they got it pretty much right today. Colback didn't really put a foot wrong again. Just simply for that goal, I think he deserved it. It was a fantastic strike, similar to his one against QPR as well. But yeah, he's constantly just always there, putting in good tackles and keeping the ball, keeping the game moving. I'd go with Colback, to be fair. And you can't really criticize that many players today. I don't think anyone really was bad.
I think everyone was good to be, but there's always one player that sticks out though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You saw. I think Spence was pretty good again.
Another there's been gossip that he might be going back because as everyone knows that people called Neil Warnock has been sacked as a business manager, and he could have a recording clause back in. So that could be another thing that Forest needs to sort out. Dylan, do I need to ask you, Dylan? I know you're going to ask me.
No, but you're going to think I'm going to say Colback, and I think he deserved it. But I think there was a couple. I think Graben deserved a shot. He got the 2 goals. He did his job. If you noticed him in the game as well, he was on the wing. He was doing what he used to do, like tracking back, but he was doing it more positive. It was like sometimes he'd be on the wing, sometimes he'd be in defence, helping out, while the likes of Johnson and that were further up and stuff like that. So I'll take Colback as the man of the match, but I think Graben had a good shot at it.
Yeah, you know what? 2 goals as well. But I think he's a shout. What about you, Tim? Who was your that player that impressed you today?
Yeah, then can't really disagree with Colback's sort of choice. I thought he's all over the pitch and adding goals to his game is going to give him a great chance of. I think Ryan Yates had a header. He had a chance to score as well, didn't he? So he could also be a goal scoring midfielder. But the only thing I'd add to what's already been said, I agree with everything all what Rads and Dylan have said, is that I think Jed Spence would have been closer to the man of the match had he not been so consistent on the other games that he's played. It's just we're so used to seeing him produce that level that you're like, oh yeah, he just played well. But that was, again, today was like outstanding. Some of the interceptions he makes. He seems to be one of the few players that I've seen that seems to get more energy and fitter as the game goes on. Like he's like literally ready in those final minutes to make those bursting runs, which seems to be quicker than anything he could produce earlier on. I don't know how that is, whether that is the other players on the other side just getting a bit fatigued, but he's a phenomenon, really. And if your gossip report is correct, that's horrifying news. For him and that would be a killer. That's almost as bad as Johnson, probably the same pain.
This is the thing. I think everyone's been hearing about Johnson. He still hasn't signed a contract, but
right.
You know what? Let me ask you, Tim. Like, everyone's aware that the FFP is watching us really carefully about what players we bring out. Tim, I think I've asked Dylan, I've asked Rads, if you had a choice, if we had to sell a player, what player would you sell, Worrell or Johnson? And people in the comments as well. You can join in as well. Who would you get rid of? You know what? I'll ask Dylan and Rads afterwards. But Tim, let me ask you first.
It would be Worrell, and the only reason I'll say that is, and that's with a heavy heart to say Worrell, after saying how much I like him, is just basically on the potential for value that Johnson could go on to be. Like Worrell is at his, he's 24, is he? 25.
Yeah.
Realistically, we'll get X amount of money for him, and he may go on to do brilliant in the Prem and double his worth. That's possible. It's unlikely, though. I would say. I think he'll be a one-move guy, and then he'll do a few years wherever he goes, to Burnley or Southampton or whatever. Johnson, in theory, at the moment, looks like the kind of player that even if we sold him for say 12 to 15 million, you know, if he does what he could go on to do, then all of a sudden we look like we've been massively shortchanged out of that. And I would, you know, I just don't, I would hate to see Johnson going for 40, 50 million in 2 seasons time and going, wow, here we go again. That would be my only reason for saying Johnson. And it's in Worrell rather. And it's in no way is that a criticism of Worrell.
Yeah. What about you, Rads?
It's an impossible question to answer.
Yeah,
really,
you've got to answer it. You've got to answer it.
Yeah, I would honestly, if I had to pick, I would agree with Tim. You know, I'd never want to sell either, but if you look at it, because Wall, he is a massive part of our defence. But if we don't have Wall there, and we've had times where Wall isn't there because of injuries, etc. You know, we have got Figs and McKenna, and McKenna is a very underrated player.
You know what? I personally thought McKenna was good today as well. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
McKenna,
definitely.
He really impressed me today as well.
You know, he never really puts like a 7 out of 10 or below McKenna. He's always going under the radar. And you know, Figueiredo, like we say, he is a bit of a liability at times, but he is still a good player. And then we don't even know whether he's going to play or not. But we have players like Eli and Mbisao could come in through. So, you know, the point is we do have options at centre-back. And we have options at front as well and on the wings with Johnson, of course. But, you know, like we were saying, Johnson's got a much more high potential given his age. And Wall has been with us for longer than Johnson, really. And I think honestly the one that's most likely to go in real life is probably Johnson because of his potential. But honestly, it's a tough one. But I probably would pick Wall if I really had to. Is that one of those?
Last but not least, I'm going to ask Tim. I don't know if I've asked Rads yet. Tim, before the season started, like I know we had Chris Hooton and all that, but when Hooton was in charge, where did you thought Forest would finish? But now we've got Cooper.
Yeah.
Where did you think Forest will finish now? So where did you start from the start of the season, and where do you think we'll finish now?
Before the start of the season, I thought maybe we might be consolidation season, maybe 8th, 9th, 10th, possibly at best. That you know, because with the bad start we had, you know, that was very optimistic of me with Hooton. I just thought that he sometimes is a second season kind of manager, and he might be able to do. It was a disaster though, really. The whole kind of the whole window, the transfer thing. We didn't do business early. Everything was shocking, and we started so flat, and the players clearly didn't enjoy what was going on. And then Cooper's come in, and now, you know, I was speaking to my friend before I came on here, Forest fan, and you know, if we have a good window and we can keep the players we've got, then there's no reason why we wouldn't be a playoff potential. That's where.
So you think a player from Cooper?
If we can keep players, as long as our squad doesn't get worse and we can add a couple to it, what we've got, then yeah, I would have thought so.
Okay. Wow. People will comment. Do you agree with Tim? Yes or no? Rad, have I asked you already in the other podcast or?
I can't remember, to be
fair.
Let
me ask you then.
Yeah.
I think I've asked Dylan so many times. Rad, same here. Where did you thought Forest would finish at the start of the season?
I didn't think it would be anything spectacular, to be honest. Obviously, I didn't know that we would have such a poor start with Hooton, but I didn't think it would be quite as bad as it was at all. I did think we'd be about mid-table, to be honest. I remember on my channel I did a video about it. I think I did two. I did an early one and a final one. I think I said 17th and 13th.
Did you?
Yeah, I changed it.
Wow.
But I didn't really change it that excessively, unfortunately. But under Steve Cooper, like we were saying, I do think we do have the potential to get the playoffs, but I'm just not sure if that will happen. I do think at the very least, the way we're playing, we'll get the top 10 at least.
Okay.
Top 6 would be incredible if we were to do that after the start we had. But yeah, I think at the very least, we'll get the top 10 the way we're going.
Okay. Right. Dylan, do I need to ask you again, Dylan, or you think with the way Kobach's playing,
I'm not just pinning it on him.
Yeah,
I think it all. Me personally, I think mid-table. But if they give Cooper a good January, get him another striker in, maybe lucky if they could get him 2 strikers in, and see what's happening with everyone else. Because like obviously, if Worrell's supposedly had talks in January, in the summer, possibly there could be someone else who comes in for him in January. So they might need to bring another decent centre back in, just on the provision of him going. But I believe if they can give Cooper a good January, and we can just get that final third, probably another one or 2 strikers in, I think, like you say, I think we could probably push for the playoffs.
Bloody hell! Everyone looks confident today. Bloody hell! I think there's too many big teams at the top. Like you can talk about Fulham, Bournemouth, West Brom.
Yeah, but you got that. Yeah, but it's them 3. That's it. There's no one else other than Fulham. I would say. Do you know what? Personally, I would say other than Fulham, there's probably no one else in this league that we should fear. Do you know what I mean? Because Fulham's just Bournemouth. I think when we played them, they just beat us, and that was under that was under Houghton, and we were playing negative football then. So what would it be like now to play them? Do you know what I mean? But I believe anyone other than Fulham at the minute until January and see what happens there. But anybody other than Fulham, we shouldn't fear.
Right, last but not least, I said our next week. I mentioned our next 3 games, and we've got Reading, Luton, and West Brom. I'll start with you, Tim. Like, how many points would you take out of the next 3 games?
West Brom at home.
Away
at West Brom, and it's home against Luton. Yeah,
and away against Reading.
I reckon. I believe we can certainly. I think we can get 7 points out of that.
Do you really think?
I think with the international break, I think we've. We were Dylan was mentioning about the Fulham being the standout team, which I think they probably are. But that 4-0 loss was not a true reflection on the game. The difference between the 2 teams ultimately was knowledge and experience of a squad that's been together a long time, and probably one of the best strikers in Mitrovic outside of the top tier leagues anywhere. He's just one of them, and he scores. So he's massive. And then Kearney coming back. He's always lethal. Whenever I've seen Kearney play, he just. I mean, I was just spent most of my time watching how good he was against Forest. Like he just doesn't do anything wrong. His passing range is brilliant. He just knows. Like it's just knowledge. He's come from the Prem and he knows what he's doing. And I think that's probably what we lack. We lack someone of a Kearney type. I think he'd be if we had a Kearney in the January window. With another striker, with what we've got, we'd be definitely we'd go on a really good run. I think.
Rad, how many points do you think we'll get?
I probably will go about 6 or 7, to be honest, because I mean historically Reading is not a good ground for us.
Don't mention Reading. Don't mention Reading to me. Don't mention Reading to me. It's a horrible ground.
I understand why. Yeah.
I've done 2 vlogs there. I've done 2 vlogs, and it's been the first one was it was my worst game. We lost 2-0, but the second one was 2 years ago, and was it 2 goals in 30 seconds?
Yeah,
that was I was crying. Not with I was literally crying, but I just put me on. But comrades.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned that because it's a ground we don't normally win at, like we just said. But then again, we've looked at some of the games this season. We've been to grounds and won, and we don't normally win, like Huddersfield. Birmingham, Barnsley, we don't really win there, and we won convincingly in all those, particularly Birmingham. 3-0 was fantastic. But I think given the fact that Reading aren't doing anything special really this season, it's a game we need to be winning really. Would I take a draw? Probably would be a bit disappointed, to be honest, if we go to draw. So I think it's a game we need to be winning. West Brom is obviously the toughest one there. Of the lot.
We've got a good. I think we've got a good record against West Brom.
Yeah. We do. From when Cotton was losing backed the Hawthorns quite a while. I remember we were drawn the last 2 times, I think.
Yeah.
2-2, and Cashy scored that goal late on. And then remember Dwight Gale robbed us in the last minute.
Last minute. Yeah.
It was terrible. We should have won. I think it was a win. Yeah, should have won that. So yeah, I would take a point definitely at West Brom. Win would be even better, of course. But a point would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And
no, go on.
And Luton is a tough game because Luton are doing better than I thought they would do. So yeah, to answer your question, I think about at least 6 points at least, I'd say.
Last but not least, what about you, Dylan? How many points would you take?
I want 9, obviously, like everyone.
Obviously.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny, but yeah, I take 6 or 7, but with the likes of Reading, West Brom and Luton, me personally, out of all 3 of them, I fear Luton more than any of them, because if you see some of their results they've had this season, going up against teams that you think they're winning 3-4-0.
Did they win today? Did they win today?
I don't know actually.
I don't know, but people comment. Did Luke win today? I don't even know.
I'll tell you now.
But yeah, Luke, they've got.
No, they lost 1-0. They lost 1-0 to Stoke.
Yeah, but they've still got Chris Cohen there and Paul Hart there, ex-Nottingham Forest.
Exactly. But they've got. We're Reading. I know you say we don't play well at Reading, but like Rad said, we've been to places like Birmingham, Barnsley, like Preston today. They're a bogey side. We beat them convincingly. Do you know what I mean? The last 10 games, everything's flipped on its head. So I won't fear. Me personally, I won't fear Reading. West Brom. Would you be? I think you go to the Hawthorns, you're going to take a point all day long. But they lost. I think they lost today, or they drew. No, that's it. They draw. I think they're drawn. Yeah, they lost to Middlesbrough, didn't they? No, 1-1 against Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? So, but out of all that, I think me personally, I think it's Luton, because they've got that fight, they've got that winning mentality, because no one expects them to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments. Ryan says 4 points. 4 points. Ryan, what team do you think we'll lose to? Seth says 5 points. That'd be a win and 2 draws. Would you not take 5 points?
Is Luton at home?
Yeah, Luton's at home. That's a Tuesday game, I think.
Yeah, I think we might be able to do that. Yeah, because we're at home.
Marcus has 6 points. Rick Shaw Forest has 6 points as well. 1 point. That's silly. Depends on the ref against West Brom. We've had clown refs against West Brom as well.
Yeah, but we've had our fair share of crap referees in the last couple of games, so that's past now. Hopefully.
Another player, Lee Tilson. Shut up. Lads will come back. Lads will come back to sit ground with Luton. Is it right? Is it yes or no? Is anyone scared of Lansbury scoring past Forest? Tim,
am I scared of Lansbury?
Yeah. Do you think
No, not really. No. He's not. All ex-players love to come back and score goals against their old team. So, but his best effort's not going to be good enough. Lansbury's done. I think it's over for Lansbury. It's time for him to wash up and go home. I think Lansbury. Yeah.
Right. Okay, people. We've had a good show today. Another good show. 76 people has watched this. Sorry, I'm not asking much team questions, but you've not asked much questions, people. But yeah, people, thank you very much for coming on. Rads, before you go, Rads has got a YouTube channel as well. Put a little plug on your channel.
Yeah, I do a lot of Forest-related content as well. Tend to do lots of different things really, but I do vlogs to Forest games. Been doing it quite a while now. I've got 2,000 subscribers, so yeah, if you fancy that,
subscribe to Rads now. He's a young one. He's soon to take over me. but yeah. Listen, as well, Tim. thank you very much for
No worries.
for coming on. Like I said, I look like people as well. If you do, this is Tim's first time on here, and if you do want to join as well, like Dylan's a veteran now. Dylan's always on my show, so he's a veteran. So, but like I said, people, if you do want to come on my show, message me on Twitter, Instagram. If you're under 16, please ask your parents, or if you're I don't know, just ask your parents. That's the most important thing. But people. I've got to, man. But like,
have you got a consent form? You got a consent form we can download.
People, well, like I said, thank you very much for everyone for like Rads, Dylan, and Tim. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll be back. I don't know. We've got 2 weeks off now, haven't we? Oh, this will be boring now. Rads, have you got any content coming up in this next 2 weeks?
I'm gonna try, but it's always difficult in this international breaks when you're a YouTuber. Got no ideas of videos.
Yeah. Before you go, Tim, have you got a season ticket at Forest?
Not this season. I haven't. No, work's been a problem for me to get the games off. It can be quite hard. I had one, not the lockdown season, the one before. Yeah. But I try to watch every game or listen to every game via various media devices, and so I keep abreast of it all. But yeah, there's nothing quite like being at the City Ground, of course. But I am going to Luton. I'm going to be going to the Luton game on the Tuesday, so that'll be good. Yeah. So hopefully, I'll be getting a season ticket for the Premier League next season.
Oh, you're one of them. Then you're one of them. Then you're one of them.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, no, that sounded bad. No, don't hold that against me.
Well, people, like I said, thank you very much for everyone coming on. And like I said, if you are new to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button, like as well, and another fantastic for Forest as well. Peace and love. Up the Forest.
Up the Reds.
See you later, Dylan. See you later, Reds.
See you later, lads.